𝘃𝗹𝗂 and welcome to this special program on the National Volunteer Initiative for the 𝘃𝗶𝗂 Mindfulness City. Now, just weeks after the groundbreaking ceremony for the 𝘃𝗶𝗂 International Airport, a remarkable wave of public spirit is sweeping the nation. Thousands of Bhutanese, from farmers to professionals, youth to elders, are coming forward to offer their service in the form of physical labor and otherwise in support of the royal vision. In what is truly becoming a people's project, the response has been overwhelming. To discuss more, I am joined by the Governor of the 𝘃𝗶𝗂 Mindfulness City, 𝘃 Dr. Lotusring, to understand more about this extraordinary show of solidarity, how it's being managed on the ground, and what lies ahead for those eager to contribute. Now the first question I would like to ask is, what inspired the launch of this national volunteer call for the 𝘃𝗶𝗂 Mindfulness City?
Thank you very much, 𝘃𝗶𝗂 and BVS, for this opportunity. Actually, even before I start answering your question, I would like to submit a sincere apology for the delay on launching this online registration form, because the volunteer work actually has started long time back. The vision, of course, has started a couple of years back, but in physical, His Majesty the King and the members of all the members of the first family were here in 𝘃𝗶𝗂 working at the airport site, which we all know that during the last National Day, His Majesty has explicitly mentioned that this airport is so important or how important is this international 𝘃𝗶𝗂 airport for GMC, for Bhutan, and for the region. And His Majesty very clearly mentioned that this will be, no doubt, will be people's project, and His Majesty himself and all the members of the first family will come physically here to contribute physical labor. And that was very clearly mentioned. And that was the time we all heard that that the airport and the whole GMC project will be launched as people's project. And as we heard, their Majesties came here and they started, as they started on the first day itself, by evening, I received so many calls from different parts of the country, and a couple of calls and messages even from outside Bhutan, if they also could be part of this move. So that is the speciality and uniqueness of His Majesty the King's leadership. But yet, even if they wanted to come, even if we wanted to offer them the opportunity to come, His Majesty again made it very clear that all should not be rushing here and then wasting their time. And His Majesty commanded very clearly that we have to have a clear plans for them to come, do what they want to do, and be satisfied with their physical labor contribution. So we took some time to formulate this online registration system, and then we took little more than what is expected to get the portal registered with our GovTech system. It's registered with GovTech system, and when it goes global, we wanted to have data that can be retrieved and used for many other similar activities in future. That's why we are sorry that it took some time, but yet this is a platform that His Majesty the King wants us to offer to all Bhutanese, be it in Bhutan or outside. And even it can go to non-Bhutanese who are Bhutan lovers, or who are keen followers of His Majesty the King's leadership.
You were saying that although the official announcement is being made right now, people have already started coming down to volunteer, and I believe the numbers are in thousands. So if you could share some details on this.
Yes. As I was saying, from the 8th of this month onwards, when His Majesty the King and the members of the royal first family were here, they all wanted to come, but I personally had been stopping them because we just had too many people. Almost 78,000 people were gathered there to do the work. And then just to digress a little bit, many heard His Majesty's 𝘃𝗶𝗂 at the worksite opening. Of the many, when His Majesty said it, told us not to take this as any other infrastructural work. His Majesty made it very clear that this airport is a project that is going to be very, very important for GMC and Bhutan. And it is equivalent to nearly 10,000 to 20,000 sanctuaries. So Anzumbe Benidigi, all the people wanted to come and contribute their labor. But then, as I said, we could not allow everybody to come because we just did not have enough work at site. Because it was, the site was around maybe 300-400 acres where we couldn't accommodate all. So we requested people that we will create the platform for them to come and pay their respect and contribute their labor later. After that, I have been getting a lot of calls from ministries, agencies, zonkas, geogs, and individuals. I got, of the many calls, I got a call from a group from Tsirang saying we will come and contribute vegetables. I got a call from a group in Tagana saying we have 𝘃𝗶𝗵 with a common budget. We will contribute the budget to GMC. I got a call from Paro saying I would like to contribute 𝗃𝗏𝗵 100,000 through 𝗃𝗏𝗵𝗂 So all these calls we have been getting. So now we have come up with this portal where everyone can go online, register yourself, and express your expectation from this initiative. Well, having mentioned that, we have a drop-down portal where you could specify as to whether you want to contribute physical labor or otherwise, because that was the call that we were getting. And if you don't put it there, that is going to be the question that we need to keep answering anyway. But while putting there, we also risk asking for donation kind of attitude. That is not the case. That's why we avoided using the word cash, because while it will be up to their satisfaction and up to them what sort of contribution they want to give. But we really do not want to send the wrong message of seeking contribution to build GMC. That is absolutely not the case, Shunivi. And case in point, we have had few youngsters who came around since they already dropped by. They came here, they wanted to volunteer. I have sent them, directed them to the Dishipu Nekhang construction site. So these youngsters went and contributed some 3-4 days of physical labor. And we also have chef Mrs. Sring with Umala. Sring with Uma, she wanted to contribute her 10 precious day of contribution to GMC. And she had specified dates. She wanted to be here from the 20th till 29th of this month. And from next month onwards, she is otherwise internationally engaged. So therefore, we of course welcomed her here, and then we designed a volunteer package for her, where all the hotels, chefs and senior cooks are gathered, and we have requested Chef Sring to go around in 9 different hotels over 9 days. And my specific request to her is, as she trains the local professionals, I want her to go through all the corners of the hotel that is spending the night with, starting from the kitchen to the dining side, to the rooms, to toilets, to storage, to the supply system that they manage. And then I requested Sring to leave us a written recommendation with a copy to the hotel, so that we get to follow up on it. And I have also requested Sring if she could come in on annual basis, maybe a week every 6 monthly or annually, so that she could also follow up on the progress that we are making. And we can also wait excitedly for her to come and show us newer skills that she would like to teach us year on year. Therefore, even in the online registration system, if you have realized, we have a rough estimate of time schedule, how they would like to volunteer. Will it be just one time, or would they like to volunteer annually? And every time they want to volunteer, will it be a couple of days to a week or a month? I think all can be specified in the form Shunivela.
One thing I would like to ask is, now we're calling the GMC, the Gelfu Mindfulness City project, a people's project. So what does this mean in both practical and symbolic terms?
Well, I mean, I only can give you my interpretation, since it is coined by His Majesty the King during last National Day. I don't think anybody will have the capacity to elaborate or define what our majesties have mentioned actually. But yet, since you asked how I feel is, what if His Majesty the King did not come up with a project like GMC? What will happen to this country 20 years, 30 years down the line if you do not have GMC? Where will we be? How our situation will be, starting from our economy to lifestyle to tradition, culture to so-called the principle philosophy of gross national happiness, so-called the last Shangri-La, so-called the happiest country in the world. Where will that be? Look at the current trend. While we so happily, so proudly call ourselves the land of gross national happiness, so many Bhutanese youth are living for greener pasture, no fault of theirs. A small economy is not able to make any mark, forget in the world, but even in the region. There is no nation in the world that has to depend on Bhutan. We are known only as a land of gross national happiness. People visit us because they haven't heard of Bhutan. Curiosity is because they didn't know, they didn't hear about Bhutan. So therefore, if this trend continues, what will happen to our future? What will happen to Bhutan? So I think that if you elaborate, that is why it is people's project. His Majesty even redefined during the last short audience here when His Majesty was addressing the local volunteers from 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, and the locals gathered here. His Majesty said, just continuing what we have been doing now, continuing what our forefathers have been doing or have done for us will not be enough marching into the 21st century. We have to do more to make ourselves and Bhutan relevant to the world. Therefore, what else can define a GMC better than designating this as people's project? So, and people's project semi profound vision ime sessionibila.
Now I'd like to go back to the national volunteer program, the initiative. So, who can volunteer and what kind of roles or tasks are available for them to contribute?
Last Mapa, for the volunteership, I think since it is volunteer works, there is no exclusion criteria. Like everyone, whoever is interested, whoever wants to contribute, should be allowed, should be will be most welcome. But since it is nature of the work will demand some physical strength and fitness, of course. Those who are medically not fit, those who are physically not fit, those who have not come of age or have gone the most productive age would also like to come, but I know they will not come for that very reason. So therefore, we don't have any exclusion criteria, be it by age, sex, nationality, or any other factors. That's why the form, as you drop down, it also says if you're Bhutanese, what are the factors required, qualification, and if you're non-Bhutanese, what would be required.
Tasha, now the first process is to get yourself registered. So what happens after that? I mean, basically, is there a structure in place to orient or guide the volunteers? Is there going to be some kind of training before they go out into the field?
Yes. Well, I mean, when I say yes, I don't specifically mean for the training, because I really don't know what you mean by training. So after registration, we have a small task force who will go through the enlisted volunteers on regular basis, and will try to categorize the volunteers based on their age, sex, groups that they wanted to come and work with, or some volunteers, they have specific time period where they are able to come. As I was alluding to in my Dzongkha section, a GUP from Eastern Bhutan called me to say that that people are more than willing to come, but it will be after their peritransplantation work. So Anzumbe, there are some groups, some villagers will have a specific time frame. So after having understood all their requirements, after having understood or categorized the group of volunteers that we get and the kind of work that we have in hand, then we will try to matchmake and then we'll send out necessary specific advisory to the people who will be coming here as to what kind of work will they be working, what would be the local weather conditions like, what are the physical attire that they have to bring, what are the equipment tools that they have to bring. So all these sorts of directives will be given, Seshunibi.
𝘃𝗏𝗂𝗏, now one question is, how does this volunteer movement reflect the bigger vision and values behind 𝘃𝗶𝗂𝗏, mainly mindfulness, sustainability, and community spirit?
Yeah, I think you have answered your question by your question. Actually, this is a unique project, unprecedented greenfield project. Even without much fanfare and advertisement, looks like we get this feeling that the whole world knows about it. People, whoever gotten the chance to listen to His Majesty personally, have been undoubtedly impressed with the vision. So this is something that we are already very, very proud of. And then the vision of 𝘃𝗶𝗂𝗏 is to be mindful. And when we say, or if we elaborate the word mindful, it can mean almost everything. It is not just specified towards meditation and spirituality and related to religion or Vajrayana Buddhist practices. While that is there, but word mindfulness also means to say that area should be one of the cleanest, greenest, and safest places on planet. His Majesty keeps repeating on this, and that is one of my main tasks here, to make 𝘃𝗶𝗂𝗏 one of the safest, greenest, and cleanest places on earth. The word mindfulness also means means to be how mindful should you be with the air that you breathe in, with the quality of water that you drink, with the quality of food, kind of food that comes on your table, which His Majesty again repeatedly said, everything has to be organic. So these are the sustainability factors that are embedded in the mindfulness project. Therefore, when we get to do this, when His Majesty is leading this project, if everybody gets an opportunity to come and be part of it, be part of the whole history writing of the country, getting an opportunity to write your name in the history of a country. So since this is a huge opportunity, His Majesty wants us to make sure that every Bhutanese knows about it and every Bhutanese is offered this opportunity, so that they get to be part of this story, and then they get to share this story with their next generation. Therefore, this volunteer work, the whole system that is geared towards building the 𝘃𝗶𝗂𝗏 system, the 𝘃𝗶𝗂𝗏 being people's project, 𝘃𝗶𝗂𝗏 being a unique mindfulness city, first of its kind in the world, and people getting to offer their services on a volunteer basis. It's something that is very unique and something that really goes well with vision of 𝘃𝗶𝗂𝗏.
𝘃𝗏𝗏, now what is the long-term vision for the volunteer movement? Basically, I mean, will there be continued opportunities for the people in the later phases of the project?
How long will this volunteer work go on, and what kind of work will keep evolving? I think it's very clear. In the name of a city, 𝘃𝗶𝗂𝗏, through 𝘃𝗶𝗏, His Majesty is trying to create a new country, two system in one country system. This is very unique. Therefore, in order to build a country, a system like a new country, we cannot build this in a short span of time. Rome wasn't built in a day. So therefore, the works will keep going. Newer works will keep evolving. There'll be many different types of kinds of work that will evolve. One that is being designed by the master planner, that's BIG and other associated work streams. Then there's another set of works that will be designed by the local experts. And there's another set of big work stream where so many spiritual centers, monuments, and facilities will be built. Therefore, there will be no end to the works that the volunteers will get to be part of. But in the earlier phase, within next 1-2 years, what His Majesty has commanded is to make sure that we come up with some unique features of GMC that will make every visitor here, Bhutanese and or non-Bhutanese, to get this feeling of how GMC is going to look like in future. Visitors year on year, when they visit, they should be able to see significant changes that is taking place in the place that we are in now. Therefore, over next few years, there will be a lot of activities will be coming up. As I said, building up of 8 spiritual centers is already approved. And there's a big park along Mao River is coming up. Of course, the airport is still there. Airport, the work is going on. But just to let you know, most of the works that can be done with manual hands and that can be done by volunteers is actually done during the last 5 days of volunteer works. Now we are in dialogue with the contractor and the project implementation officer. We have project implementers manned or headed by Changi Airport and MQDC stationed at the site. So therefore, we are in dialogue with them, and we have asked them if there is any work that can be done manually by the volunteers to let us know, so that we can take the volunteers in shifts, get the job done, and come out. Otherwise, most of the work has to be done mechanically, has to be done by either by machines or by skilled hands. Therefore, with time, there will not be much room, much work to be done at the airport site. But yet, whenever there is, they will let us know. And according to the type of work and kinds of skills required, we'll go on to the categorized volunteers from the online registration portal, and then we will let them know accordingly, shouldn't be. But the other works, a lot of work streams are opening up in terms of waste management system, in terms of building a Bhutanese village kind of an initiative that will qualify both as a Bhutanese village, a park, a place where you could spend some time, a couple of nights, a hangout area. These are the areas that are coming up. And as we all know, His Majesty's under personal initiative, as His Majesty, his own project, we have Bauddha 𝗃𝗃𝗃 from Kathmandu will be replicated here. So that is a massive infrastructure, even by physical size. So Anzumbe, there will be many activities that will be coming up.
Finally, any message or anything that you'd like to say to people who are thinking about volunteering but they've yet to register?
I have a lot to say, actually, plenty to say. Heart is full, but at the same time, I know the hearts of every Bhutanese people are full, maybe more than me. Maybe many of Bhutanese, yourself included, will know more about GMC, are more passionate than us about this project. So I wouldn't like to waste their time, but yet for my own satisfaction, since you asked, let me think aloud. Not that I'm an expert on this, but when I reflect on this, if you have time to go through Bhutan's history briefly, His Majesty, the King's successive monarchs have taken critical steps at strategic period in a times. So if we can go through that, how and why the first king was enthroned, what did His Majesty, the first king, do? If he didn't do that, could second king have done what he wanted to do? If the second king, as we all know, was the most fearful king that we ever had, within this short, within His Majesty's short reign, what did he do? Of the many that His Majesty, late His Majesty the King did, one outstandingly, he taught every Bhutanese what is right and what is wrong, what we have to do and what we should not do. The rule of law was introduced. Without that, I really don't think so third king could have so comfortably introduced modern roads, modern education, all sort of initiative that His Majesty the third king did, and took Bhutan to the UN and all those historic events. He would not have even dreamt of doing it. There was absolutely may not have been the room for him to do it. After the third king having done what he had done, what His Majesty the King had done, fourth king came on the throne and did what he, as we all know, he did. We also proudly, every second sentence that we use is land of gross national happiness. It just came from singularly his mouth. The sort of vision that he already had for the country. Obviously the first country that is carbon negative in the world. It was embedded in our do's and don'ts and constitution by such enlightened monarchs. How we had to overcome the little threat that we had in the southern foothills from the militants across the region. All these things, plus how a monarch introduced democracy in the country. All these are strategic steps at a particular point in our history. If His Majesty the Fourth King had not done all this, I don't think our current king could have even dreamt of doing what he intends to do for the country. And then now, when His Majesty has done whatever he has done for us, what he is intending to do through GMC to Bhutan, in the region and the world, it gives a clear platform for what major initiative will our next king do. It's already paving the way forward for him. His Majesty the King is already planning to, designing to hand over this country in certain specific manner to his son. So therefore, I think this is what I personally feel like sharing. While many or all Bhutanese will know this, but it's for my own satisfaction that this is what we call as leadership. This is what we call as successive leadership. Now, therefore, responsibility as a Bhutanese now is to make sure, our responsibility as of now is to make sure that we all understand the vision behind this GMC, behind this creation of two systems in one country. Why? And ask ourselves, why now? Where will we be? How will Bhutan be? How will our future be? The future of this Bhutanese youth be if we do not have GMC? If His Majesty the King do not undertake this initiative, what will happen to us? So I think these are the reflections that are coming to my mind. So if I could send out a reminder to all my fellow colleagues and then see how we should contribute. So understanding the vision of GMC, I personally feel is our responsibility. And if we can understand this, it will come in handy for us also to be prepared for those who are looking for jobs, for those who are looking to skill themselves up, parents like ourselves, for those who are preparing their children for better future. So I think this would be something that I would like to share with my colleague 𝘃cie𝗹𝘂.
Thank you, Lamije. Thank you very much. And that brings us to the end of our conversation on the volunteer initiative for the 𝘃𝗪 Mindfulness City. I would like to thank the GMC Governor for your time and valuable insights, and thank you to all the viewers for watching. Goodbye and take care.